From the standpoint of America, the EU treats us very, very unfairly, very badly. They have a large tax, and it's a very substantial one, and those are very bad. We have some very big complaints with the EU. My message to every business in the world is very simple. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth. But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff. We began the golden age of America. America is back and open for business. That's quite nice. The United States. 3 days ago, I took the oath of office and
group. So, Steve,
Saudi Arabia will be really glad. A lot of the European business people have expressed enormous frustration with the regulatory regime in the EU, but especially because of regulations. And you've taken a completely different approach in this area.
From the standpoint of America, the EU treats us very, very unfairly, very badly. They have a large tax, essentially don't take our farm products and they don't take our cars, yet they send cars to us by the millions. They put tariffs on things that we want to do. So we have, hundreds of billions of dollars of deficits with the EU. I love Europe. I love the countries of Europe, but the process is a very cumbersome one. I got a call from the head of a major airline, one of the biggest airlines in the world, and he said, "Sir, could you help us? What? Landing in Europe is brutal. They charge us fees for everything, and it's so unfair." I said, "How does it compare to China?" He said, it's much worse. They won 15 or 16 billion from Apple. They won billions from Google. I think they're after Facebook for billions and billions. These are American companies, whether you like them or not. They're...
Final question, which is important for Europe. Would you agree to guarantee security of supplies of U.S. LNG to Europe?
Your question, yes, I would. I would make sure that you get it. If we make a deal, you'll get it. Because a lot of people do have that problem. They make a deal and then it can't get supplied because of war-type problems and other problems. So we would absolutely do that.
So how do you think about the impact of all these orders and how fast they come out and how you're going to balance them with that scorecard of being successful in both continuing GDP growth, bringing down inflation, and also having a good stock price appreciation for the American citizen?
So we're going to bring it down to 15% if you make your product in the USA. So that's going to create a tremendous buzz. But we're actually doing a reduction for business and small businesses where you're going to bring it down to 15%, which is really something. And by the way, speaking of you, and you've done a fantastic job, but I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank. And that included a place called Bank of America, because what you're doing is wrong.
Mr. President, I'll say that your friend Gianni said hello, told me to tell you hello. Mr. President, I'll say that your friend Gianni said hello, told me to tell you hello, and so thank you for getting that for the United States.
What great honor and pleasure to welcome you back to the Davos community.
I believe you don't know me as well as my fellow panelists, so a few words. Santander is one of the largest banks in the world by number of customers, 170 million. That's more than my friend Brian or my friend Jamie have.
Wow.
And those...
They fixed the regulation.
That's coming.
That was cheeky.
Question is, what are your priorities in this regard, and how fast is this going to happen?
I know very much about your bank, and you've done a fantastic job. Congratulations. We are going to move very quickly. We've moved very quickly. We've done things in the last 3 days that nobody thought were possible to do in years. And it's all taking effect. It's going to have a huge impact on the economy, a huge positive impact. But one thing we're going to be demanding is we're going to be demanding respect from other nations, Canada.
That you had a good discussion. How do you see the relationship between the U.S. and China in the next 4 years under your leadership?
I think that we're going to have a very good relationship. All we want is fairness. We just want a level playing field. We don't want to take advantage. I like President Xi very much. I've always liked him. We always had a very good relationship. Hopefully China can help us stop the war with, in particular, Russia, Ukraine. They have a great deal of power over that situation. And we'll work with them. And I mentioned that during our phone conversation with President Xi. And hopefully we could work together and get that stopped.
Back here in Davos next year, will there be then a peace agreement with Ukraine and Russia by then?
Ukraine is ready to make a deal. Just so you understand, this is a war that should have never started. If I were president, it would never have started. One thing very important, I really would like to be able to meet with President Putin soon and get that war ended. And that's